So let's pick up where we left off yesterday. We had written this program to stop it blue. Some notes I'm going to tell you to do. Where this says 20, it's fine. It'll work for this program. But as we get on, lower that speed. In fact, we had to make it successful. We had to lower it all the way to 5. If your program doesn't run, check to make sure your primary motors are plugged into the B and C port, and check to make sure your sensor is plugged into whatever port you have here. I have 3. You should have 3, but some of you may have something different. Make sure that matches the port you have the color sensor plugged into. Then run your program. You don't have to start all the way at the white line. You can start a couple of inches from the blue line and let it go forward, especially if it's going at 5 speed. Start it pretty close. Otherwise, you can take a nap before it gets there. So do that. So hopefully that worked. Here's your next thing. I want you to take that same program that you just had, and I want you to add starts and stops with color names of yellow, black, and red. So you're going to take this program, literally just copy the entire program, and if you click on these and hold the control tab as you click on each of these colored markers, it'll highlight all of them. Then you let go of the control tab and right click on it. It means click on the right hand side of it. It'll come up with something that says copy. Hit the copy, go to the end, hit paste. Then all you got to do is go in there and change this from blue to your next color, and change this from the color blue to whatever color you're looking for, and do it that way. Or you can just do it one block at a time. Either way is fine. So you're going to do that for yellow, black, and red. And you have to do them specifically in that order. So it'll be blue, yellow, black, red. If you don't do it in exactly that order, your program will fail when you put it on the table. So once you've done that, put it on the table. Most of you noticed an immediate problem. You put it on there and it just stayed right there and said blue, 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 blue. Because it needs a pause between each thing. It needs a chance to get off that color. So before each, after blue, before each of them, and actually before blue, it's a good one, put in a wait block for like half a second or more, depending on your speed, enough to get past that piece of tape. And then it starts checking the next one. So you'll have an engine run, and then you'll have a wait block right here with a half-second wait before it detects for blue. That'll give it enough time to stop detecting while it's driving forward before it starts detecting again. All right? And a half-second will work. Even if it says blue again, it'll still blow past it eventually. Do that. And as you go, I want you to know how easy, I want to know how easy was it to program this, and did it seem tedious or repetitive? Make those comments. I'm assuming everyone got that. Let's talk about life in a better world. Life in a better world uses loops and switches. A loop is an awesome thing. A loop allows you to redo an action until you're done. We're going to use the loop, and it's in our yellow block, and it looks kind of like this ending thing. And our loop will stay as infinite loop. We're not going to change it this time. We'll talk about later how to change it, but right now we'll just leave it as infinite loop. You could pick special circumstances. You could pick whatever. So inside that loop, you're going to put your on. So you're just going to turn your motors on. So no matter what it does, every time the loop restarts, it's going to run the motors. So the next thing you're going to do is put in a switch. A switch looks a little like this, and it has a check mark and an X mark. The check mark says, do this if this is true. So this switch is set to color sensor, compare, color. We turned off red and turned on, in this case, I think it's black. And we turned on black. Then we said, hey, if it's black, stop, turn off the motors, and say black. And then it loops again. Now, how many of you figured out the problem that we had before? Well, if we do this program, it's going to constantly black, 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 because it's never going to get past that. So you've got to put a little wait block here for about a half second before the two. So run that program and go try it out. You'll see it looks just like the other. So hopefully that worked and your program went forward and found the two black lines. Actually, it said the green line was black because it doesn't recognize green. Now, you're going to take and add switches in there. So we know that when in black is true, it's going to say black and stop the motor, or stop the motor and say black. But what happens when it's false? That's where we put in a second switch to check for the next color. In this case, blue. So we're on this switch is not true. We put in blue, and that's in the blue true. Well, we're going to go same thing into the blue not true and put in yellow, and then put in that one in the yellow not true. We're going to put in red. And all these switches are going to be one inside the other. And I want you to tell me, do the switches make it easier? Don't panic if you guys didn't get it all done. Hope that helps somewhat.